Hi, I think we're about to have some fun. We're going to play some music videos. We're going to interview some artists from the Notations and a whole lot more.
1, 2, 3, kick it.
It's not about black. It's not about white.
We are moving and we cannot afford to stop.
This is Showtime with Greg Murray.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun here because on the line with me right now, I have a guy who has been my friend for quite some time now. His name is Cliff Curry. Hi, Cliff. How are you?
Hey, Greg. How are you, my friend?
Oh, man, I am so excited to hear you on the phone. And with this COVID-19 thing, we can't get around like we're used to getting around. So we have to do whatever we can. Has it been an impact for you?
Yes, it has. We have to stay in, be safe. Kind of hate that this happened the way that it did, and we really, really, truly hope that everybody can get through this. I believe it will, and a lot of shows and things have been canceled because of this.
Really? I'm not surprised. Now, I heard this rumor. You can tell me if this rumor is correct or not, but I heard this rumor that you were pushed off stage because of COVID-19 right in the middle of a show.
Absolutely. Well, what happened was we did our final show here in Chicago was in March 13th, which was a Friday. And the show had been booked about 4 or 5 months ahead of time. And it's a beautiful club called the Promontory in Hyde Park. It's an area of Chicago called Hyde Park. And it holds about 360, 365, and we ended up having about a total of 348, 349 showed up. But what happened, we thought that it was going to get canceled because of the virus, and it ended up that we ended up doing the show. It was an early set, and they opened up the doors at 7, and we hit the stage at about 8:05, and we were off about we did about an hour, 15 minutes, about 9:20. And after we came off, it was a blessing that when he came back to take care of us, he said, guess what? And I said, what? He says, we just got the call from the city to shut it down because of the virus.
Oh.
We were the last act that performed at the Promontory since this virus has been out, and we were just fortunate that none of us, we had a 9-piece band, plus the group, plus the people that were there, and none of us caught it, and that was a true blessing.
That was a blessing. It really was. My gosh. Hey, Clip, how long has the Notations been together?
The Notations have been together for a long, long time. I'm going to tell my age now. But I started out in grammar school, not with the Notations, but I started out in grammar school. And in 7th grade, that's when I formed my very first singing group. And I really forgot the name that we used at that time. So in 8th grade, to graduate from grammar school to go to high school, every year they would have a talent show. So, of course, we got in the talent show, and you have to sing a popular song, something that was being played during that era.
Right.
And we did a song by a group called the Marcells. They had a tune called Blue Moon.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the one we sang, and we ended up winning. And the first thing I'd ever won, or the group had ever won in our lives, the first thing I'd ever won, they gave each of us a Mickey Mouse watch. That was a huge thing then. Yeah, I laughed too, but it was huge. And they gave us each a case of Coca-Cola, the real little Coca-Cola bottles, right? So from there, graduated on into high school, and matter of fact, I went to Parker High School, which is now called Paul Robeson here in the city, in Chicago. And second year high school, myself and my right hand at the time, his name was LaSalle Matthews. We called him Tiny. We did everything together. We grew up together, played football together, everything. And we decided to form a group. And he says, well, what is the name going to be? We got to have a name. All groups had a name. So he says to me, well, since you're always writing and taking notes and jotting things down, I got an idea. What about Notations? And that's how it come about.
That's awesome.
And I liked it, and we kept it, and it's been that way ever since. So second year high school is when we actually formed it and gave it the name.
Wow. How many were the original group? How many were in the original group?
Originally, it was 3. Myself, LaSalle Matthews, and James Stroud.
Okay.
Now, on a sad note for me, LaSalle passed away on me in '03.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And yes, and Jimmy is still living. He's doing real good for himself. He lives out in a suburb of Chicago called Calumet Park.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been married to the same lady. I was a little story about that too. They've been married 52 years.
Wow.
It's a long time.
Yes, it is.
And so Jim is doing really good. He's still alive and everything. So him and I are the original guys. So on I'm Still Here, which was our first 2.5 million fellow, those were the voices that started it all.
I'm Still Here.
Yes.
I'm going to play just a little bit of that right now, okay?
Okay, sure.
All right. The Notations and I'm Still Here. Just a little bit, not a lot.
I'm still here after telling you so long. I'm still here, baby, after saying that I'd be gone. Now maybe I was just talking out of my head, but baby, if I wasn't, can I take back what I said? 'Cause when I need someone, hey baby, you're right here to hold me. When I need someone, ooh-wee girl, you're right here to kiss me. When I want someone, oh yeah, your love don't resist me. You're here, and I'm so glad that I'm still here. After making you so blue, I'm still here.
That's the Notations and I'm Still Here. My goodness, man, that sounds so good, Cliff.
Yeah, that was we call it, that was the national anthem for the Notations. That's the one that put us on the map nationally and internationally, that got us started. And then I back up just a step. I like to say thanks to a gentleman here in Chicago that gave us that first record deal, and that was Mr. Phil Johnson.
Okay.
And he gave us our first deal. It was a label called Twilight Records, located at 166 East Superior in Chicago. And that was our first deal, and that was our first big record that got us started.
That's awesome. So when you fast forward a little bit, I met you during my last job before I retired.
Right.
I met you while I was teaching radio at Kennedy King College.
That's correct.
And I don't remember exactly how it was that we met, but we met and it was an instant friendship instantly.
Yes.
You must have that. You must have that type of magnetism with everybody you meet.
You know, I'll say this. Yeah, I'm a people person, and being in the business that we're in, entertainment, whether it's basketball, football, music, but being in the music field, I feel this way. You have to be a people person, because without the people out here, young and old, in between, that buy records, back in the day, you listen to the radio like WON, which was the big station in Chicago back then. They support us, and they go out and they buy these records, and without them, there is no groups, including us, without the fans.
You're absolutely right.
And so you have to be, this is for me, I can't speak for everybody, you have to be a people person. And because without them buying that ticket to come out and see you live and in person, or you have to sign autographs, sometimes you may not feel like it, but you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the public that keeps you alive. That's what's keeping I'm Still Here alive to this day. It's still being played across the country today.
It's so good. But
so,
all of your music is good.
I am a people person, and I'll give you a good example. I remember an incident. If you don't mind, I'll throw this in there.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of being a people person, we've only had in our career one manager, and it was a gentleman named Emmett Gardner.
I know Emmett.
Yes, you do. Emmett was our first and only manager that we ever had. Now, what do I mean by only manager? Because a lot of groups have had 2 or 3 or 4 managers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I met Emmett, he was a promotion man, outstanding. That was a good thing. He was outstanding promotion guy.
Right.
I met Emmett after I had met my mentor, which was two people really. I cannot leave them out of this conversation. Mr. Curtis Mayfield
Mm-hmm.
and Mr. Eddie Thomas.
Okay.
Those 2 guys trained me and taught me the business, and I listened and soaked it all in. So after I had met them, then I met Emmett, and he was a real outstanding promotion guy, and he was promoting for a couple of companies at the time, Stax Records, and doing some things with other smaller labels and medium-sized labels. Well, anyway, Emmett became our manager. Now, again, along the way, Emmett, he wasn't such a great manager, but he was an outstanding promotion guy in terms of taking your record to the radio. He knows this story. Taking the records to the radio station, that's the guy. And he was very good at getting your stuff played throughout the different cities. But he wasn't an excellent manager. So one time there was a situation where we had an opportunity to open up for the old days. And they were a little bit bigger than we were, but we were hot, though. Mm-hmm. And the information was given to Emmett. And it ended up that he was supposed to make a call. And he did make the call, but he didn't follow up. And so time went by. So LaSalle asked me, she said, Cliff, did you get any word on that situation? I said, you know what, let me talk to Emmett about it. So I did. And he said, well, I made the call, and I was just waiting to hear back. So it ended up that LaSalle said to me, being my right hand, he said, you know what? Emmett's an outstanding promotion guy, and it's one of our best friends. But he's not a good manager. He said, so why don't we do this? He said, since you get along with everybody likes you, you're a likable guy, you communicate well, you know a lot of promoters and whatnot already, why don't you step in and we'll fire him as a manager, keep him as a good promotion man and a best friend. You take over that spot. And that was what happened. So from that day on, I ended up just taking care of the business for the group. And that's the way it's been from then to now. It's been a long time.
Yeah. That's a good story. And it's also a story that I never heard before either. So that's good. That's good. Hey, listen, you know that new picture that I see of you and Marzette and Eric. This new picture of this is a hot picture, man.
Oh, thank you. Everybody really likes him. We had a good photographer. We had did things with him before. Matter of fact, he just moved to Florida. I don't know what part of Florida he's in. That was the last big photo shoot that he did in Chicago. He lived in Dalton, Illinois.
Okay.
And then he took us to the park out there in Dalton, not too far from his home. That's where we did the shooting at. Then we went back to his house, and we did the rest of the shots inside his home. He has like a pull-down screen. He's very, very good. And, everybody really likes that shot. We're really happy with that. We're really happy with that. Mm-hmm.
That's great. Well, here's a song that I really want people to see you guys do. It's a really good song. It's called I'm So Proud. I want to play the video. Is that okay with you?
You're only one fella's girl. cherry so sweet. Yeah, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. Compliments to you from all the people we meet. Yeah, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of being loved by you. I'm so proud. So proud, so proud, so proud. I'm so proud, so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud, so proud. I'm so proud, so proud. I'm so proud.
The Notations and I'm So Proud. I'm Greg Murray, and on the phone with us right now, we have one of the members of the Notations, and I've always known him to be the leader of the band. His name is Cliff Curry. Cliff, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, I'd just like to make it real quick and let the fans know there's a lot of questions that are asking me all the time. But I will say this, when we signed to Tornado Records, we had a good run there until things kind of they wasn't promoting like they should. Then Curtis asked us to come over. Curtis Mayfield was one of my mentors, along with a gentleman named Eddie Thomas, and I learned from them. So when Curtis formed his company called Curtom Records, Jim ago, we switched over to his label, and we were given a producer named Rich Tufo, and I had a writing partner at that time, myself and a guy named Gerald Dickerson, and we ended up recording a nice album over there. And our second release that did very, very, very well was a tune entitled Only Hurts for a Little While. Then the disco era jumped in, and we ended up having another release that was on the disco charts called Think Before You Stop. So we had a good run there as well.
Well,
So, and it was a big stable of artists there. It was us, it was Leroy Hudson, the Natural Four, Jones Girls, the Impressions, and Curtis, and it was a self-contained group there called Baby Huey and the Babysitters. So it was a nice selection of artists over there.
cool. Let's play a little bit of that Only Hurts for a Little While.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
These are the Notations. It only hurts for a little while.
That's what I heard. You say I'm fronting when I start to cry. But even a good man, bye-bye, has got to break down inside. I gave you my love. Lord knows I really tried. I gave up my life for you, baby, to keep you, baby, by my side. It won't be like that always. Together we can see it through, darling.
The Notations. Only hurts for a little while. I'm Greg Murray. This is Showtime with Greg Murray podcast, and we're just having a little fun. If it's okay with you, we'll continue on playing some music from the Notations and speak with our man Cliff Curry. Cliff, now I noticed now that in most of your music, it's love songs.
Right. Well, that's the kind of stuff that I like. Now, that particular song, Only Hurts for a Little While, was written by a gentleman named Howard Sanderford, Rich Tufo, and at the time, a gentleman that sang named Bobby Thomas. And we like love songs. I think we need a lot more of that today. I'll tell you. And those are songs that I think will always be around. They will always mean a lot to people, and that's the kind of stuff that I like to write.
Mm-hmm. And Think Before You Stop. Won't you set that up a little bit before we play it?
Think Before You Stop was a song sent to us. It was sent to Showtime Records for us. The gentleman was out of New York. Van McCoy sent that in, and he's going to have a big record years ago called "Do the Hustle."
Yes.
And he sent that. He sent that with some other songs, and we ended up going on Think Before You Stop. And it was a disco, but it did very well. It did very well.
All right. Well, let's listen to a little bit of it. I'm not going to play the whole song, but just give us a little feel for it. This is Think Before You Stop. The Notations.
When we first met, I knew your love I couldn't forget. Baby, why you taking me through all these changes? Makes me tired and so upset. Listen, babe, before you stop, think about it and start all over again. One time for me, if you please. Before you stop, I don't want to take all this. Start all over again. Listen, girl, you're my whole life. You mean the world to me, baby. Hey, girl, you're mine, it's a fact. And always wanted to be just like that. Listen, before you stop. Come on, babe. Start all over again. You better stop and think about it. Before you stop. Hey, babe. Start all over again. Listen, girl. I always knew behind every man, there's just got to be a good woman to love and to hold, baby. Someone who really cares about me, girl. When we first met, I knew your love I couldn't forget, baby. So while you're taking me through all these changes, don't make me so upset. You got
The Notations. Nice. Think Before You Stop. I'm Greg Murray, and Cliff Curry from The Notations is on the phone with us today. Cliff, I love this music, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what's going on with The Notations more current today?
Well, okay, to make it real quick for you, and for the fans out there that's going to be listening to this and seeing it as well, there's a company out of Sherman Oaks, California called Silent Giant Entertainment, and they reached out to me about doing a deal with us, and we ended up having a selection of about 8 or 9 classic old school songs. And we chose these songs, which was I'm So Proud. Of course, that was one of the impression songs. So we kind of chose that one ourselves. Be Thankful for What You Got. This was an old William DeVon song.
Ooh, we're losing you, Cliff. We got a real bad connection here. Tell you what, I'm going to play a video while you get a better position, okay? We'll be right back.
Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, gangsta lean. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, taking the scene with a gangster lean.
That's awesome. The Notations and Be Thankful. Now, tell me a little bit about this this little collage with you and Danny Trejo.
Well, the company Silent Giant Entertainment in Sherman Oaks, California. I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Edward Rios. We call him E-Dub. And Julie, a great assistant to him and us. She looks out for us. And of course, Danny Trejo. Danny is one of our best friends. And Mario, too, good buddy. Mario is Danny's assistant. Want to say hello to him, too, man. That particular video was filmed in his garage at his home. And it's a 1967 Cadillac is what we use. We're glad to have Danny in the video. And for those that don't know Danny Trejo, he's a big actor, man. He's had about 40 films.
Yeah.
Big time.
Anybody who's ever watched movies knows that face. They may not know his name, but they do know his face.
The face, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. So Cliff Curry of the Notations, you know, I don't want to take up all your day. I don't want to take up all your time, but I do want to thank you for the time you've given us today, and I look forward to us getting together again soon.
We would love it, and this next time, hopefully, we'll be able to do a Zoom where we could do it live.
Sounds
with everybody,
great.
Right? I want all the guys right there.
All right, then. Cliff Curry, the Notations. Be blessed, my man.
Thank you so much, Greg, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Take care, buddy.
This is Showtime with Greg Murray.